Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press Evening Podcast for July 15th, 2025. We have several significant stories to bring you up to date on. Firstly, in Ukraine, the conflict with Russia continues to escalate. The U.S. has announced plans to provide additional military aid to Ukraine, but the human cost of the war is mounting, with over 1,000 civilians killed last month alone. We'll continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as more information becomes available. In Israel, a key governing partner of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the United Torah Judaism Party, has announced it is leaving the coalition government due to a dispute over military service exemptions for ultra-Orthodox Jewish seminary students. This development leaves Netanyahu with a razor-thin majority in parliament and could impact the ongoing ceasefire negotiations with Hamas. And finally, we've been following the story of U.S. President Donald Trump's ultimatum to Russia, calling on them to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine within a matter of days. The clock is ticking, and the world waits to see how Putin will respond. These are just a few of the stories we're tracking tonight. We'll have more on these developments and other news from around the world as it becomes available. And that's all for now. Thank you for joining us on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, we've been following the controversy surrounding the upcoming performance of a Russian conductor at a prominent music festival in Berlin. However, our first story tonight is about the Russian conductor being replaced due to public outcry over his ties to the Russian government and his past comments on Ukraine. Our second story takes us to the world of online regulation, where Reddit has introduced age verification checks for its users in the UK. The move aims to protect children from harmful content, but it also raises questions about free speech and user privacy. Lastly, we're reporting on the escalating sectarian clashes in southern Syria, which have left dozens dead and thousands displaced. The conflict involves the Druze minority, Syrian government forces, and Israeli warplanes, making it a complex and sensitive situation. These stories highlight the complexities of our global landscape, from cultural controversies to online regulation and geopolitical tensions. We'll continue to monitor these developments and provide in-depth analysis as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night and stay informed. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm your host, Louis. In our recent episodes, we've covered a range of topics that are sure to pique the interest of investors and market enthusiasts alike. Firstly, we took a closer look at Meta's impressive AI-driven growth strategy, which has been yielding significant revenue gains. With its commitment to investing in AI, Meta is poised for long-term success, making it an attractive investment opportunity for those with a forward-thinking approach. We also examined Pinterest's steady growth and improving profitability, driven by international markets and engagement. While valuation appears reasonable, investors should be mindful of certain metrics that may impact buyback benefits and free cash flow. Lastly, we analyzed the recent inflation report, which showed a slight uptick in June. While this may complicate the Fed's policy path, it's essential to remain vigilant and adaptable, considering all key economic indicators before making any bold predictions. As I always say, don't get too excited and don't get too despondent. The economy is like a complex puzzle, and we need to consider all the pieces before making any grand pronouncement. So, let's take a deep breath and wait for more data to come in before adjusting our strategies. That's all for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining me on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, stay informed, stay savvy, and keep on investing. And remember, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. We'll be back with more news and analysis after this break. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we've got some thrilling news from NASA, where a private mission has successfully carried astronauts from Poland and Hungary to the International Space Station, marking a significant milestone in the development of a low Earth orbit economy. We also had the chance to learn more about Melissa Harris, a NASA veteran with over 20 years of experience in human spaceflight programs, who's playing a crucial role in guiding the agency through this new era of space exploration. Next up, we've got an update on the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, set to launch soon, which promises to unveil a plethora of cosmic secrets, including elusive stellar explosions and the disintegration of stars near black holes. This cutting-edge telescope is expected to significantly advance our understanding of dark energy and shed light on some of the rarest phenomena in the cosmos. Lastly, we're looking back at a fascinating story about a recent breakthrough in space research, where scientists detected a massive explosion resulting from the merger of neutron stars, or a neutron star and a black hole. This event, known as a kilonova, has given us new insights into the formation and evolution of the universe. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the cosmos with the AI Daily Press. Until next time, farewell, and let's keep looking up at the stars with wonder and curiosity. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. We've got a trio of fascinating stories to delve into, each with its unique blend of intrigue and insight. Firstly, let's talk about the MLB All-Star voting system, which has come under fire for being outdated and unfair. The current system allows fans to cast their ballots as early as June 4th, but critics argue that this rewards players for their early season performance rather than their current form. We explored the pros and cons of revising the voting schedule to better reflect the game's changing landscape. Next, we shifted our focus to the collegiate arena, where Notre Dame has been making headlines. The departure of starting shortstop Estevan Moreno to the Seattle Mariners is a significant blow to the Fighting Irish baseball program, which is already facing challenges with key players leaving through the transfer portal. Meanwhile, the Notre Dame basketball team is gearing up for the Players-Era Men's Championship, where they'll face off against powerhouses like Kansas and Rutgers. Lastly, we touched on the exciting news that Notre Dame's basketball coaching staff has hired a former star as their new general manager. While it's too early to speculate on the impact of this move, it could be just what the team needs to turn things around. That's all for tonight's special report on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow with more updates and analysis from the world of sports. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep on keeping on. This is Howard, signing off. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we featured a heartwarming story about a group of workers at Villa Colombo who are fighting for their rights and the dignity of the seniors they care for. Despite facing challenges, these dedicated individuals are standing together to ensure that their residents receive the respect and care they deserve. We also delved into the world of employment ethics, where an individual felt misled by their employer regarding their job responsibilities. Our expert advised on the importance of clear communication and professional conduct in resolving workplace disputes. Lastly, we explored a scenario where an employee took on additional responsibilities without fair compensation. Our expert emphasized the need for employers to recognize the value of their employees' contributions and provide fair remuneration. These stories remind us that, at the heart of every issue are people deserving of dignity, respect, and compassion. As we navigate complex challenges, let's approach them with empathy and understanding, striving to build stronger, more supportive communities. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Tonight, we're wrapping up our recent music coverage with a quick recap of the hottest topics. We started off by taking a trip down memory lane with the one and only Madonna. Her iconic song Erotica is still making waves today, and with rumors of a new album and limited series on the horizon, fans are eagerly awaiting what's next from the Queen of Pop. Next up, we saw a resurgence of classic rock in the UK album charts, with Oasis dominating the top spots and Pink Floyd experiencing a significant jump. It just goes to show that great music never goes out of style. And finally, we talked about the evolution of the music industry, with artists like Kendrick Lamar and Sabrina Carpenter pushing boundaries and breaking records. Their albums UNX and Emails I Sent are still going strong on the charts, and we can't wait to see what's next from these talented artists. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining me on this music-filled journey. Until next time, stay fabulous and keep on dancing. Please. Now, for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we reported on the remarkable reappearance of the Eurasian otter in Malaysia, highlighting the importance of dedicated research and conservation efforts in protecting our planet's precious biodiversity. Next, we delved into a groundbreaking discovery in immunology, where scientists have identified a unique receptor in lampreys that could lead to new avenues for developing immunotherapies and vaccines against diseases such as cancer and autoimmune disorders. Lastly, we took a closer look at the conservation efforts in Zambia's Kafue National Park, which is facing numerous challenges including pollution, overfishing, and invasive species. Despite promising results, more needs to be done to protect the park's river system and support sustainable livelihoods for local communities. These stories remind us of the importance of continued research, conservation, and protection of our natural world. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of science and conservation. Until next time, good night, and let's continue to cherish and protect our planet. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Atenecha for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.